So, I welcome you all for a lecture session on mechanics of materials for third semester mechanical engineering. So, today we will see module 3 shear force and bending moment diagram. In this shear force and bending moment diagram, we have seen the theory part of that, like what are the types of beams we have, what is the definition of a beam, what are the types of loads that are acting on a beam. So, the first type of a beam that we have seen in our theories part is a cantilevered beam. A cantilevered beam is one which is fixed at one end and it is free at the other end, which is fixed at one end and the free at the other end. There will be a span length of the beam. Span length means it is the length of the beam which we have considered. So, we have some case studies in the shear force and bending moment diagrams, like cantilevered beam subjected to all the varieties of the loads. Like we saw three types of loads: point load, uniformly distributed load and uniformly varying load. Now, we will take up a cantilevered beam and a first type of a load. The first variety of a load that we have seen is point load, and how the beam is going to behave for this point load and for cantilevered condition. So, how we are going to determine the shear force and bending moment in general will be seen in these case studies. On the same way, we will study the cantilevered beam for subjected to point load, subjected to uniformly distributed load, subjected to uniformly varying load. So, we will see three case studies for a cantilevered condition, cantilevered beam condition, and three case studies for a simply supported beam condition. So, these case studies will give you an idea how we are going to solve the problem when we will be dealing the problems. Okay. Shall we start now? Fine. We have considered a cantilevered beam. A cantilevered beam is one which is fixed at one end and free at the other end. Here I have considered a beam AB which is fixed at end A, and free at the end B. The length of the beam chosen is L. It is subjected to an external load, that is point load at the free end, which is applied with a point load of the magnitude W at the free end. So, this is what our beam looks like. This is what a cantilevered beam when subjected to a point load looks like. So, we are supposed to explain this diagram first when we are starting this case study. So, the explanation goes like this: consider a cantilevered beam, or consider a beam as shown in the figure. Subjected to point load W at the free end and fixed at one end, that is A. The length of the beam B L. So, this is what the explanation that we generally write when we have chosen some beam subjected to some amount of load at a free end. What is the free end? It is end B, and fixed at one end. What is that end? That is end A. The length of the beam is L. Let the length of the beam be L. Now, our purpose is intention is to determine the shear force and the bending moment. Once the shear force and bending moments are obtained, we will plot them, we will represent them pictorially or diagrammatically. When it is represented diagrammatically, then the title of our module is complete. That is shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay. So, we will start with the shear force. we'll start with the shear force. I use the notation to represent the shear force as F, and we will call it as Fxx. That is, we will come to know what is xx further. So, to determine the shear force, we should recall and remember what are the sign conventions that has to be followed to find out the shear force values that are produced on the beam. So, what is the sign convention? I just write in a small part. We have a section. To the right side of the section, if the forces are acting downwards, it is positive. If it is acting upwards, this will be negative. The value of forces will be positive if it is acting downwards. The value of force will be negative if it is acting upwards. And reverse on the other end. What is in the other end? If it is towards the left side, the forces will be negative if they are acting downwards. If they are acting upwards, its value will be positive. This is the sign convention that has to be followed while we are taking the problem. Now, what I will do is, I will consider a section. XX. Consider a section XX which is at a distance x from the free end. Consider a section XX at a distance x from the free end. Which end? Free end. We should be very careful. I am giving that distance from the free end. Now, that is the reason why I have given the shear force value as denoted shear force as Fxx. The meaning of this is shear force at section XX. Now, shear force at section XX equals we have a section. To the right side of the section, observe, do we have a force acting downwards or upwards? We have a force acting downwards. And what is the magnitude of the force or the load? W. Is it positive or negative? It should be positive according to our sign conventions. So, this is the sign convention what we are supposed to follow. To the right side of the section, if the forces are acting downwards, it is positive. If it is acting upwards, it will be negative. The shear force at section XX is W. Now, look at this value of W. Is that a constant or a variable? Obviously, it is a constant value because it is not a product of any variable, or any variable in the sense it is not a product of any value of x. So, as I move from this point, what is the value of x at the free end? If I shift this section over here at point B, the value of x is 0. Does this position of the section will influence the value of W? No. I will take this section to point A. Will that influence the shear force? No. Since that does not influence the value of shear force, whether at point A or at point B, we can call this as a constant value. Therefore, shear force at point A and shear force at point B is W. Shear force at point A and shear force at point B is W. Okay, we are done with the shear force. Now, shall we move on to bending moment? Bending moment. Let us call bending moment as M. Now, what is a moment? Moment means it is force into the perpendicular distance. If the force is acting here and I am considering the moment with respect to this point, this force into this span length or into the length about which I am considering the moment will give us the moment. So, force into the perpendicular distance gives us the moment. Now we have considered a section XX which is at a distance x from the free end. Now let us take the moment about section XX. So the moment notation will now change to mxx. Why it has changed to mxx? Because we are taking the moment about the section xx. We are taking the moment about section xx. Taking the moment about xx. Taking the moment about section xx. So what we will get? I will write that as mxx. Again, please look into the sign convention that we have followed. We have a section. If the moment is clockwise, then its value, if the moment is clockwise, then it will produce a negative moment, a negative value, and also we should observe what type of effect it is going to give. If it is going to produce a sagging effect, then its value will be positive. If it is producing a hogging effect, then its value will be negative. Now observe this beam. The load is applied. How the beam is going to bend? It is going to bend in this particular fashion. So what kind of an effect it is? Is that a sagging or hogging? Definitely it is an hogging effect. It will bend in this way. So if it is hogging, the value should be negative or positive? Negative. The clockwise moments are positive, but the bending moment effect is negative because it is going to produce a hogging effect. So what is moment? Force into perpendicular distance. W is the force. Perpendicular distance till the section xx is x, and its value is negative. Why it is negative? Because it produces what kind of an effect? Hogging effect. Now observe this value. This is a function of x. Change the value of x. Put x is equal to 0. What happens to the bending moment? It becomes 0. Put x is equal to 1. It will be minus w. That means to say the bending moment is going to vary with respect to the value of x. So it is not a constant value, it is a variable value. Now come to the figure. We are interested in determining the bending moment at point B as well as at point A. We are interested in determining the bending moment at point B and at point A, that is at the fixed end and at the free end. So what are the values of x? The value of x at x is equal to 0, I will be at the point B. I will be at the location B. So what happens to this bending moment at point B? This becomes 0. Because put x is equal to 0 over here, something into 0 is 0. Now at x is equal to L, I will be at location A and its value becomes minus WL. So this is what the determination of shear force and bending moment for a cantilevered beam when it is subjected to what type of load? A point load. We have calculated the shear force and the bending moment. So one part of the problem is done. So we need to plot those values in the diagram or the figure. So how to draw? First I will start with the shear force. Let this be the reference line. This is point A and point B. What is the shear force at point B? W. What is the shear force at point A? W. Is that positive or negative value? It is a positive value. And it's a constant value too. Not only it is constant, it also positive. So it is a positive value. FA equals W, FB equals W. This is the region where the shear force is concentrated, and this portion represents the shear force acting on a cantilevered beam, Now let us see how the bending moment is going to be shown. I will take a reference line, again point A, point B. What is the bending moment value at point B? 0. MB equals 0. What is the bending moment at point A? MA is WL. MA is WL. Now observe the equation. Observe the equation MXX. It is minus WX. It is minus WX. That means it is a variable. How it is going to vary? It is a linear variable. How can we say it is a linear? Linear means we know from our mathematics we have an equation of a line as mx plus c. Mx plus c. This gives us a straight line. This gives us a straight line where m is the slope. What is the order of the value? X. It is the first order. So we can call, once the equation is of first order, we can call that as a linear curve, linear line, or a straight line, linear line. So we have MA minus WL, MB 0. So these two will be connected with the help of a straight line, and this value is negative. This is the region where the bending moment is concentrated. Bending moment is concentrated. Fine. So this is how we are going to draw and determine shear force and bending moment diagram. So this three diagrams altogether is the way how we are going to represent shear force as well as the bending moment. This is the shear force diagram, and this we call it as a bending moment diagram. So this is case 1, that is cantilevered beam subjected to point load. Now next we will see cantilevered beam subjected to uniformly distributed load. Cantilevered beam subjected to uniformly distributed load. Let us move on to the next case, that is cantilevered beam subjected to uniformly distributed load. Cantilevered beam subjected to uniformly distributed load. Again we have the same cantilevered beam fixed at one end and free at the other end. The length of the beam is L. The magnitude of UDL applied on this beam is W per unit length, or W Newton per meter. W per unit length, or W Newton per meter. So please carefully observe, this is not a point load case, it is a uniformly distributed load case. What is the meaning of uniformly distributed load? A uniformly distributed load is one where the loads are acting consistently on each and every location of the beam, on the span length of the beam, or the load is uniformly spread over on the span length of the beam. So the load W, which is in Newton, is spread over the entire length, that is spread per length of the beam, That is the reason why we have W per unit length, So in our problems or in these scenarios, what we should do is we should convert this UDL into a point load. So that it is convenient for us to solve the problem. So how to convert this UDL? The unit of UDL is Newton per meter. I want the load in terms of Newton. So what is the thing that needs to be eliminated? I need to eliminate the denominator, that is meters. So how this can be done? This can be done only by multiplying that the numerator with the length or by the meters. So meter get cancels and I will be left out with the Newton, that is the unit of load. Now once it is said the UDL should be multiplied with the span length on which it is spread over. If we take this problem, the UDL is acting on a span length of L, If I multiply W with L, it will become WL, and this intensity or this magnitude of load WL will be acting at the mid span of this beam, This is the condition, or this is the case for an uniformly distributed load. Observe the diagram. I have considered a section XX which is at a distance x from the free end B, which is at a distance free end B for our problem to solve. We have made the problem simpler now. Instead of considering the entire length of the beam, we have taken only a small portion of the beam. That small portion of the beam is x. Now our focus is only for a span length of x. So the UDL is acting for a span length of x. I want to convert this UDL into a point load. So what is the length I should multiply now, where I have considered a span length of x alone? It should be multiplied with the length x. And where it will be acting? It will be acting at the mid span of x. That means this UDL will be acting over here, and that magnitude will become Wx, and this will be at a distance x by 2, that is mid span of x. The Wx, the intensity Wx will be acting at the mid span. So now we have converted the UDL problem into a point load problem. Then the procedure remains the same. So the theory part, again it is the same. We will have a theory part like this. Consider a beam having a length L subjected to uniformly distributed load of magnitude W per unit length, which is the beam is cantilevered, which is fixed at one end and free at the other end, as shown in the figure. Full stop. I will repeat once again. Consider a cantilevered beam which is fixed at one end and free at the other end, subjected to uniformly distributed load of magnitude W per unit length, as shown in the figure. Full stop. Now consider a section XX at a distance x from the free end, as shown in the figure. Now the intensity of UDL acting for a span length of x is Wx, and it will be acting at the mid span of x. UDL means uniformly distributed load. This is when we treat the entire length of the beam, that is intensity of UDL acting on the span length L is WL, which acts at the mid span of the beam. Intensity of UDL acting on span length x is Wx, and this acts at mid-span of x. Mid-span of x. Again, the next part remains the same, like we will start with shear force. So the shear force notation, we will call it as Fxx, because we are taking the shear force at section xx, taking the shear force at the section xx. Again, use the sign convention. To the right side of the section, if the forces are acting downwards, it is positive, and the force that we have is W into x. W into x. Now observe, is this a function of x? As I vary the value of x, can we get different values of shear force? Yes. If I put the value of x is equal to 0, I will be at free end, and the shear force is 0. And if I put the value of x is equal to L, I will be at point A, that is at the fixed end, and the shear force will be WL. Let us find out now. At x is equal to 0, Fxx we will be at location point B, and this value will become 0. At x is equal to L, this value Fa, we will be at location A, and the value will be W into L. So these are the shear forces acting on the beam. Shear forces acting on the beam when it is subjected to UDL. Now let us go to bending moment. So the notation that we use for bending moment, Mxx, and we are taking moment about section xx. Section xx. So what is a moment? Force into the perpendicular distance. So what is the force we have? Wx. And what is the perpendicular distance from the point of application of force to the section? It is x by 2. We have a force here, and the distance from this point to the section xx is x by 2, and it is a clockwise moment. Clockwise moment is positive, but the effect is hogging, and if the effect is hogging, it will be a negative value. W x is the force, and what the perpendicular distance is x by 2, and the entire value is negative. So this we get it as minus W